friends, and welcome to the Makeover Factory, a place where I blend the practical and the spiritual so that you can create a life that you love. And one of the key things that we must manage if we are going to create a life that we love is stress. And so today I'm going to talk about why that's important, and I'm also going to give you a tip to help you manage it. And so it is no secret that we are right now in tumultuous times. I'm a little bit older, so I've kind of seen us here before. But if you're a little bit younger, you may have never experienced anything like this before in your life. And it can be a little bit unnerving. And so let me be the first to say we've been here before, and we will definitely get through this. We will make it to the other side. On the other side, we will be more peaceful, more loving, more prosperous. I can guarantee you that. So don't stress too hard about it. But if you find that you are, I'm going to give you a tip that will help with all of that. So let me start by first saying that I'm the kind of a person, when I hear a concept, if I don't fully understand it, I have a little bit of difficulty actually incorporating it into my life. I'm just one of those people. I need to know, I need to understand everything about it. And I've gone throughout my life and I've been exposed to different spiritual processes or different kinds of theories that I've heard about how to manage stress and da 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 da. But for me, I can only grasp something if I fully understand why it is important. And one of the things that has eluded me, or had eluded me, I should say, for a long time was the concept of presence. And I kept thinking, presence, okay, staying in the moment, I get it. But because I didn't fully understand it, I had difficulty incorporating that into my day-to-day existence. And it is a very powerful tool. Let me give you a little scenario. When we were younger, our parents always told us to brush our teeth. Brush your teeth, Tonya. Brush your teeth before you go to bed. Brush your teeth, Tonya. If you don't understand why that is important, it can kind of just come off as a nuisance thing to do. Like you just really aren't invested in it. And so for me, having the deeper knowledge as to why helps me get invested. And so hopefully I'm going to explain the concept of presence in a way that will help you get invested. So now back to my scenario about when we were little. As you're growing up, your parents are always yelling, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth before you go to bed. The dentist was saying, brush your teeth after every meal, right? Okay, we're supposed to brush our teeth. But now, when you came across a person that had a toothache, maybe it was a parent, maybe it was an aunt or an uncle or a friend, now all of a sudden the message of brushing your teeth makes a little more sense. You're willing to get more invested in that process because you understand it has a direct payoff for you. And I'm one of those people. You tell me to brush my teeth, meh, it's a societal thing. Maybe I'll brush today, maybe I won't brush today. But now, when you tell me and demonstrate to me that my teeth are gonna rot out of my head if I don't brush them, now you got my full attention. Now I'm completely invested in the process. Okay, moving on to presence. I know you've heard the concept before. It's been around for a very long time. A lot of the spiritual gurus or the people that are kind of evolved, your Eckhart Tolles, your Deepak Chopras, your Oprah Winfrey's, a lot of these people are talking about the power of the present moment. Let me tell you why you want to begin to incorporate this particular practice into your daily life of remaining in the present moment. What I like to call the holy moment. It is absolutely sacred. And let me tell you why. If your moment is anywhere but right now, chances are accompanied with that are fear and anxiety or regret and despair. And let me demonstrate. If I stay in this present moment right now and I'm focused only on what is happening right now, my mind can't run off to the future and say, Tonya, what if they hate your videos? Or what if one of my family members gets involved in a horrible accident? Or what if I lose my job? Right? If you're completely in this present moment, your mind simply can't do that. You can't occupy two spaces at the same time. You can't be here with me and at the same time be off in the future worried about some future thing. You're either here with me now or you're there. And if you're there, when you bring your attention back to me, you're going to find that you missed a part of what I was saying. Your brain just can't do it. And so if you are not in the current moment, you open the door for more stress and anxiety because you're going to be worried about some future event that may or may not happen. And I've done it. Whew, Lord, it is a waste of time. It is a waste of energy. When I look back over my life, probably 99.9% of the things that I gave time and attention to and worried about never even made their way into my existence. Thank God. And so worry really is just wasted energy. And when I say energy, it takes a lot of physical power to worry. It takes a lot of your energy. You oftentimes can't sleep when you're worried. Oftentimes you can't eat when you're worried. It really does kind of alter your physicality. Your body chemistry completely changes when you are wasting that energy towards worry. You could be using that energy towards something else. At the very least, the body could be using it to metabolize your food properly and to give you energy, to give you vitality. If it's not expending certain chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol and all those other harmful chemicals, you could be over here doing something beautiful and fly. You could be having a talk with a girlfriend. You could be creating something beautiful if you weren't wasting that energy on worry. And the same thing about going back to the past over things that have already happened that you can't change now, you know? No matter how much you travel back to the past, you cannot change what has happened. It is wasted energy. And that is why the present moment, what I call the holy moment, is so powerful. Being right in the moment, you have no room for stress. You have no room for anxiety. You will start to see that you have further control over those kinds of states and situations. So, let's say, for example, you have a dentist appointment coming up. A lot of people are just anxious about the dentist, and you find your mind carrying you off to certain places, or fearing certain things are going to happen. It's going to hurt. It's going to this. And I've done it. And so take it from me. It's wasted energy, because when you go to the dentist, it's not the most pleasant experience. But mean, you get through it. The last procedure I had, I got worked up about it, and an hour later, I was standing in the store shopping for rugs for my kitchen. Like, it just was no big deal. And so I had wasted that energy over something that wasn't even true, it wasn't even a fact. And so if you can stay in the present moment when your mind tries to run off and say, oh my God, this is going to happen and it's going to hurt and they're going to this and da 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 da, bringing your mind back to the current moment gives you more control over states of worry and anxiety. And here's what that looks like. You have a dentist appointment that's a week away, and the thought is going to come in and it's going to say, oh, it's going to be so horrible and you need to be worried about it, but you don't. All you have to do is keep your mind in the present moment, and that looks like, if you're washing dishes, when you hear that little voice come and say, oh, it's going to be terrible, just let it float away and bring your attention back to the dishes. Feel the warm water on your hands. Look at the suds and feel how the suds feel, and look at the plate and look at the glass, and make sure you're cleaning it well for your family, and thinking about how much of an act of love it is in the moment to make sure that your family has clean dishes. If you're doing that, thoughts of the dentist, they won't be able to enter your present thought process. It is beautiful. And once I got it, I got it. And so let me give you another example of, or another reason, I should say, of why you want to stay in the current moment. So if you have listened to my podcast, and I hope you have, or if you have seen a couple of my blogs or listened to a couple of my videos, you will find that I'm always talking about the law of attraction and vibration. And we are energetic beings. And so I'm just going to give a little recap for those that aren't familiar with this concept. We are energetic beings. And as such, we have a vibrational frequency. And it behooves us to keep that vibrational frequency high. And things like joy, things like love, things like extending kindness and positivity, those things keep your vibration high. And you want to be on this plane, because this is the plane of things like joy and love and abundance. And so if you personally make effort to keep your vibration here, you're going to find that your life is beautiful, because you're on the same level with all of that good stuff. I cannot stress it enough. It is vitally important. Conversely, there's a lower vibration. And on the lower plane of existence, or the lower vibration, are things like accidents, calamity, violence. And you can feel the difference when I say joy and when I say violence. It's down here. And so you want to practice keeping your vibration high so that you can be up here and life can be good and life could be beautiful, and you're kind of just going from one positive experience to the next. If you stay down here on the lower planes and you're angry and you're depressed and you're stressed, you're going to find that you're attracting like things, accidents, hopefully not violence, but that's definitely possible. Just bad news and bad luck. You're just down here on the same plane with it, and you just don't want to do that. So here's where the power of presence comes in, the holy moment. If you're staying there, your vibration is automatically going to start to rise, right? At the very least, it's not going to lower. And so when you're trying to manifest, when you're trying to build a positive existence, you want your vibration to be going up the scale, not down. And so the holy moment of the present is such that you're not filled with stress and anxiety or worry because you haven't let your mind scurry back to the past and you haven't let it run off to the future. Those are states that create anxiety. So if you can keep your mind in the present moment, you're not going to have to deal with that. And anxiety and depression and fear and worry, those are lower vibrational states. And so that is why practicing presence is such a powerful thing, because one, you're not going to feel the day to day anxiety levels, right? If you just continue to train your mind to focus on what's happening now, it's just not going to have room for anxiety and stress. And if it doesn't have room for anxiety and stress, you're going to find that your vibration is more likely to start raising, and you can find yourself on the plane of love, joy, peace, and abundance. Now, we have to live, and sometimes you have to think about future events. You may have to plan for braces for a child, or you may decide that in the future you want to buy another home or make a career move. And so you're still a human being, and there are times where you are going to have to think about some future event. There may be times where you have to think about something that's happened in the past. I always say use the past as a learning tool, but never dwell on the past because you simply can't change it. So you're going to have to do it, period. End of story. You're a human being. You're not going to be able to just be in the present moment all the time. You're going to have to say, hey, if I take Interstate 12 instead of Interstate 4, Interstate 12 may be backed up this morning and I might be late for work, so I think I'm going to take an alternate route. You're going to have to do some of that. But the point is, as much as you can, have the conscious awareness that your mind has drifted off to the past or catapulted toward the future, and recognize the thoughts that are now coming into your experience, right? I may lose my job, or what happens if I get laid off, or what happens if my son gets arrested, or you want to just start being aware of where your mind is at all times. And so if you can just start practicing presence, and you may not be able to do it 100% all the time initially, and that's okay. Like, we're just trying to move in to some of these states so that we can enhance our quality of life. They are practices. They don't always happen quickly, right? I had heard about the concept of presence for probably over a decade before it all started to make sense to me. So, as much as you can, use the present moment to recognize that you're not in the present moment. And you're going to do that by just being sensitive to how you're feeling. If you feel a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of stress, think about what you're thinking about. And if it's not in the present moment, or if it's not 100% necessary to be thinking about it at that time, walk your mind back. Walk your mind back to the present moment. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch my kid play soccer. Or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to focus only on this television show. Or I'm going to sweep the floor today. Or I'm going to sit in traffic and listen to some music, right? The present moment is where all of your power is. And I just recently got it, and I got it in a way that I hadn't seen it before. Everything is in the now moment. Your creative power is in the now moment because you have controlled your emotional state, and once you control your emotional state, you have control over your vibrational state. And once you have control over your vibrational state, now you can create. That's where the magic is. You're on the plane of abundance. You're on the plane of vitality. You're on the plane of better employment situations. You're on the same plane as great friendships and just joy and good relationships. You just want to become aware that you have the power to control what happens to you, and practicing presence is one of the most valuable tools that you can use to get you there.